In 2017, I was working at a company I truly enjoyed. I loved what I did, and I worked hard, always going the extra mile, taking on whatever I could to push my career forward. I had a supportive boss, great coworkers, and for the first time since leaving university, I felt like I was on the right track. But there was a catch. I worked rotating shift work at night. It made having any kind of personal life nearly impossible. I decided to move to a different team to get better work life balance, and that's when everything started to go wrong. I ended up with a boss who had been coasting for years, doing the bare minimum. He had no interest in bettering himself, let alone mentoring anyone else. He didn't care about helping his team grow or succeed. In fact, he started bullying me and some of my coworkers. It wasn't just rude comments, it was targeted, manipulative behavior, and it wore me down. I found myself turning to alcohol, trying to numb the overwhelming stress. I was constantly under scrutiny and put on disciplinary action for the smallest things. But it didn't end there. I discovered that he had been blocking my attempts to move to different teams or roles. He told me he was teaching me a lesson, but in reality, he was sabotaging my career. When he found out other departments had filed complaints about him, he fired me without severance. I was devastated. The next 2 years were some of the hardest I've ever been through. I bounced from one unstable contract to another, barely making ends meet. I watched my savings disappear, and even worse, I couldn't stop the spiral of depression I was in. I was drinking more, barely sleeping, and crying almost every day. My home life fell apart, and my friends started getting really concerned about my health. I felt like I was suffocating. There were moments when I thought about ending it all. I just couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. The stress, the constant fear of failure, and the feeling of being stuck, it all felt like too much. I didn't want to burden anyone with my pain anymore. But then something shifted. I had a complete mental breakdown that led to me being hospitalized. It was there that I finally got the help I so desperately needed. I started medication, began therapy, and slowly began to stabilize my life. But the journey didn't end there. I had to relearn how to be a normal functioning person again. I had nightmares about everything falling apart, and I was scared that it would all happen again. But little by little, things started to get better. I lucked into an amazing job with a company that actually supported me. I began rebuilding my finances, saving money, and most importantly, healing. It wasn't an overnight fix, but it was progress. Somewhere along the way, I fell in love again. I rediscovered my passion for life. I'm not perfect, but I'm far from where I used to be. Looking back, I wish I had known at 22 that life is too short to hold on to petty grudges or waste energy on things or people that don't matter. I wish I knew that no quick fix diet or workout craze could ever be as effective as simply building healthy habits bit by bit. I also learned that it's not worth caring whether everyone likes you. You can only control what you do from this point forward. Time heals, and your future actions will be what truly define you. Exercise, sunscreen, and finding hobbies outside your work or relationships, these are the little things that add up. They might seem small, but they'll carry you through tougher times. And when you're facing a difficult decision, don't be afraid to ask questions. The more you learn, the more you can protect yourself from bad decisions. The most important lesson, though, is this. The only person who can make you truly happy is you, and that should be your number one priority. Don't worry if you don't have it all figured out. Life isn't about having all the answers. It's about the journey, the growth, and knowing there's always room for change. That's how I reset my story.